Okay, we're just going to move on to Activision Blizzard.
No.
We're moving on to Activision Blizzard. This article is from Bounding Into Comics, and Dane loves video games.
I do.
He does. He wants to start a gaming channel.
I will.
I find the video game industry fascinating because it's like... it's not as big of a mess as like comics or the movie industry, but it's also a mess in its own right. I find
more money though.
One of the funny, absolutely. One of the things that's funny about getting this job for me, it was literally the perfect job for me because I care less about most of the time about the actual like. The movies are different. I've always loved movies, but video games, comics. I don't read. I read almost no comics anymore. But I love watching the industries just burn to the ground. I love listening to people talk about how awful the business is. So it's like it kind of was the perfect job for me to be able to document these industries just falling apart.
I consider Brett Rants a company benefit.
Yeah.
It is.
Some people get health insurance. I get Brett Ranting about shit.
Well, I try to limit it so that people don't have to listen. Like the whole, I think when the first episode we made of this show, I said, I literally think they gave me this podcast so that I would just shut the hell up during the day. Like, God, he's talking about... Well, we don't care, dude. We don't care what's going on in the film. Like, it's literally like they gave me this so I'd stop talking during the day. Like, if we keep him upstairs researching stuff for the show, we won't have to listen to him complain about these industries.
Little did they know.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, it does keep me up. It does keep me. People like who is it? Allison's like, I never see you down here anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'm working. I'm busy. I know. So it says Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick allegedly wanted to buy Kotaku and PC Gamer for good PR. Claims delaying games hurt stock more than sexual harassment lawsuit. Oh boy. First of all, nobody actually trusts Kotaku or PC Gamer anymore.
Or Activision.
Especially Activision with the Cosby suite. It says a deluge of news has come out in the wake of Microsoft's $68.7 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard.
How much?
$68.7 billion.
Damn, dude.
And then they're going to keep it dual platform. That's what's crazy about it. So it says, including confirmation that Call of Duty will remain multi-platform, as admission by Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has sought to buy gaming news outlets in order to help rehabilitate his company's image. And the revelation of the video game publisher's delay of games did more to affect the stock price than their current legal troubles. Oh yeah. Like, I can see, like, as awful as it is, like, for these people, the sexual harassment lawsuit and stuff like that, that's just a bump in the road. Not products not coming out when they need to.
Dude, Kotaku loves the e-drama.
Yeah, they do. They do. All of these sites do.
Like, they completely gave up on, like, having, like...
It's like the Mary Sue.
In-depth reviews. They're all about, like, man, if someone looks at someone weird in a company, Kotaku's over it.
It's Gamergate all over again.
Nah, Gamergate was a wild topic.
That's what this is. They still think it's going on.
I think that's the catalyst to woke culture, Gamergate.
Yeah, a lot of people do. They're making a movie about Gamergate.
Oh my God, it's gonna...
With, like, Elliot Page was supposed to be involved in it. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like,
who's gonna be Sarkeesian?
Oh man, I'm gonna be Sarkeesian.
I hope so,
dude.
Please.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't quite.
Oh my God, dude.
I get to be Anita Sarkeesian.
That woman is evil.
These what was it? She complained about the last thing I remember hearing from her.
She threatens companies.
Yeah,
she's like,
sure would be a shame if you didn't hire me to, you should hire me to be your consultant on this game, because sure would be awful if it didn't treat women right and then the wrong people got angry.
She threatens people.
Yep. Well, it's the way the mob threatens you when they come to your door for
that's her move, dude.
For their cut of your protection money.
Yeah.
They're like, sure would be a shame if someone
broke your
windshield.
Dude. Oh my God.
That's what this is. It's literally it's extortion.
That woman raised so much money to make a video series for a topic that, like, a lot of people thought that deserved covering, and she did like 3 out of 20 or some shit.
Well,
like,
she tried.
This lady is the ultimate. She's like the prototype scammer.
Yep. Well, and the thing is, like, what they're talking about here is it's the same thing as like the Washington Post being.
And she wants more money to do nothing.
Yep. It's the same thing as the Washington Post being owned by Jeff Bezos, and then there's this there's this great meme where it's like it's a timeline of like the Washington Post ownership, and then as he becomes owner, articles favorable to billionaires suddenly start popping up. No, I'm sure it meant nothing. I'm sure it was just a freaking coincidence.
The timeline goes like there should be no billionaires, so like why billionaires are saving the galaxy.
Exactly.
It's like so ridiculous.
It's like these things are the funniest part of these industries because it's like I have a lot of friends who don't really pay attention to this stuff in politics. They don't pay attention. If somebody isn't telling them that something happened, if you make any connection that isn't explicitly told to you, they think of it as like a conspiracy theory, right?
NPCs.
So it's like I don't even know, I don't know if it's that. I think it's a product of how we were raised to trust media as a whole. But then you get in these things where it's like,
dude, I'm so deep in the gamer lingo. So like when people started talking about simulation, it was the happiest day of my life. And like since I was like 6 years old, I've thought some people are people, and some people are just an adaptable algorithm that moves with the time, and like whatever the trend is, they shall be.
There was a great video by a YouTuber named Aiden Paladin where she dissects. She's like a social scientist, but like anti-woke social science. She's very big into numbers, very big into data, and she dissects this article about people who believe that they have no inner monologue, making them essentially real life NPCs.
It's like 3/4 of people. 3/4 of people like confess that they don't have like internal monologue. Isn't that terrifying?
I would kill someday to just not have to not be talking to myself internally all the time. Like there'll be times where it's like 9 a.m. and I think to myself, I'm like, if I have to get up and go out of the room, will there be somebody at the corner of the room? Will there be somebody at the corner of the stairs? Should I go the other direction? And I have this large-scale conversation with myself just to get to the bathroom in the morning.
It's okay.
And I break down every possible outcome. I'm like, I don't really want to talk to people before 10 a.m.
Just to avoid everyone that loves you?
Just to avoid everyone that loves me. Like, imagine just waking up and being like, must go bathroom, and just walking there and like everything else is just kind of there.
I mean, I get it. I also like... I have times where Dane Zipu just wants to be alone.
Yeah, like it's probably my one thing I've talked about, and we're going to talk more about it tomorrow. Is like the worst aspect of before getting sober was the way that drugs used to exacerbate my isolationist tendencies. Meaning, like I am far more comfortable by myself and alone, and I have to kind of snap myself out of it when I'm here. Same. Because I'm going to work. You know, you were working remote for a while, and we're getting off topic, but I do love that like NPCs are definitely like it's definitely something you have to worry about in the world today. It feels that way. But in this article, it says to start, as reported by Bloomberg, Sony lost an eye-watering $20 billion in stock value after Microsoft's acquisition announcement. In the aftermath, Sony stated that they expect Microsoft will abide by contractual agreements and continue to ensure Activision games are multi-platform. So Sony lost money because they thought maybe Activision would make it, or that Microsoft would make Call of Duty like an Xbox only thing rather than multi-platform. Sure enough, Microsoft informed the public that they intend to do just that, with Spencer stating on Twitter, "Had good calls this week with leaders of Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship." There's something to be said that like the WWF sucked when WCW failed, and it became like a one-company monopoly that's still struggling today, even though new companies have popped up in the interim. So you need competition to keep you spry in a way. But this is more, I want to talk more about the magazine stuff here. It says, in the wake of the buyout, the Wall Street Journal also reported on fresh allegations which came to light from those familiar with Kodak, meaning the head of the company, such as his alleged desire to buy out gaming news websites like Kotaku and PC Gamer to help restore Activision's reputation. Can you imagine the same exact thing? They purchased the company, and then all of a sudden, why the misogynistic behavior at Activision Blizzard is actually a good thing for the gaming industry.
This is such a terrifying precedent that's being established.
Yep.
Like Jeff Bezos got away with it, and now everyone is just like, "Oh, you can buy the reviews."
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What?
people have a problem with people that, like a lot of the reason like YouTube movie reviewers are successful, or like people who review stuff are successful, is because they know that they're not bought by these, like the ones that aren't getting review cut. Like they'll wait to see the movie to get a review from somebody they actually trust, who's not getting an early screener edition.
Dude, and I just feel like everything is gonna be like not. You're not gonna be able to trust anything on the web anymore because like YouTube like removed the dislike feature.
Yeah.
And anyone that has worked,
there's plugins you can use to get back.
But like if you just think of normies, like anyone that has worked in tech or like in any field where they need to like constantly update their skills knows the dislike feature is the most important feature because you can tell if the review is actually good. You can tell if the tutorial is actually good.
We would have never gotten the Sonic redesign for the Sonic movie if it wasn't for the dislike feature.
And imagine all the things we're gonna lose now.
Gotham High, that horrible DC thing where they made like a YA Gotham.
Bro, what?
Or what is it?
I saw the young Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle.
Yes, it's so bad. But I'm saying that like the reason people knew it was awful is because it had a gazillion dislikes and almost no likes. I mean, anybody watching it could know it's awful, but for the person looking for the quick look, you need that dislike button. So it says, with the buyout coming after months of bad press for Activision Blizzard in light of their being sued by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing for sexual harassment and discrimination in July 2021. I'm assuming that means they're being sued by that department on behalf of people?
Yeah.
Not just the company's like, you're a bad company, we're suing you.
It's some companies you work with, like you give away your rights to like sue the company as an individual, and you have to sue them like
through the state.
Yeah, not through the state, like through like a department that's like done to do that. And it's, I mean, I worked at a company that was like that.
Okay. So it says these actions include measuring our executives and management teams directly against cultural improvement. We're getting into the ESG funding and the establishment of diversity, equity, and inclusion. A diversity, equity, inclusion leader. So like you for us.
I hope you guys check Slack.
Solely focused on our progress across.
I was surprised.
Solely focused on our progress across multiple efforts in this area and tripling the size of our compliance and investigation teams, articulating clear accountability for unacceptable behavior. Further, Ybarra noted that the studio, quote, has quote, shared representation data internally with our teams and have set goals around improvement across these metrics. I love the
jargon.
The jargon. It's so business jargon. Like nobody talks like this in the real world. It's industry jargon, right?
I mean, this is just such a litigious world and country. Like you make a sandwich and you gotta be like, well, just because I have sandwiches does not mean that I disrespect other cultures and their cuisine. Like it's ridiculous. Like you just have to like also apologize for everything.
A woman didn't make it. I made it.
Well, I am a woman, so rude.
My bad.
As well as having put in place an upward feedback program so that employees have confidence in evaluating management. According to the Blizzard CEO, these feedback programs will be used to measure quality and effectiveness in our managers. There's no way any of this stuff actually leads to any actual change.
That was so much nothing.
Yes. Well, let's say, it's executive speak.
Right.
You say 9,000 things where this is a perfect example of we had the article the other day about lawyer speak and we cut the segment because I was like, there wasn't enough there. This is an example of why it's weasel words and they're not actually going to make any changes. What the world looks like on paper, no matter how much you articulate it, no matter how much detail you put there, will never live up to what actually happens with actual physical human interaction, even at the workplace.
I just hate that you don't even have to try. You just gotta say you do.
Yep. That's they don't care about whether you actually do better. They care about that they acknowledge that it's something.
They make a public statement out of it.
Exactly.
That they spend $10 million on a marketing campaign of a $100,000 donation.
Yep. It says, as CEO of Microsoft, the culture of our organization is my number one priority. No, returning money for your stakeholders is your number one priority.
Not anymore.
Sorry, that was me editorializing. That was not his actual quote. I'll go again. I apologize. Sometimes I get spicy and I can't help myself.
Okay.
As CEO of Microsoft, the culture of our organization is my number one priority, said Nadella. This means that we must continuously improve the lived experience of our
Oh my
employees
God,
and
dude.
create an environment that allows us to constantly drive everyday improvement in our culture. So much nothing that it's almost something.
Just do a thought exercise of a company that like dedicates like 50% of its time to that.
Everything is
Like, sir, this is a Wendy's. Like, I want my fries at some point.
Everything is spoken as if a PR representative, as if a PR person wrote it. It's what I hate about Twitter. Like, everybody in the world now has to act like they're running for president.
Right.
Like, what are your thoughts on Bill Cosby getting out of jail? I'm like, I don't know shit about Bill Cosby getting out of jail. But instead you have to say, I am extremely offended at the notion that the horrific acts of that Bill Cosby perpetrated on these young women. And I'm like, dude, you're like a 24-year-old who works at an Aldi's. You don't need to say that.
And everything's a virtue signal.
Yep.
Like, if you're a boomer like me and you're on Facebook, on your birthday, it says like, so do you want to use your birthday to like donate to any causes?
Nope.
It's like, dude, it's about me.
Yeah, as the cause me.
For real. Like the Dane Fund like donation for student loans. Like, what the hell?
I would donate to that.
You should.
Same.
This is okay.
He has a master's degree.
There we go.
Let's continue. Quote, this is
Master
hard
Dane.
this is hard work. It requires consistency, commitment, and leadership that not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. That's why we believe it's critical for Activision Blizzard to drive forward on its renewed cultural commitments, he added.
Dude, as a Latinx, I'm so moved right now.
Ugh, never ever say that ever again. I just hate it. I hate that word.
It's everyone loves the term Latinx. Isn't it really just white people colonizing another person's
They
heritage
can't
and language?
handle our language, and then it's gendered, and so like you must abide by our like new standards. It's like
This stuff was always going to happen to an industry making as much money as video games.
yeah, dude.
It was always going to happen.
It's a miracle that more hasn't happened. It's just because like Japan industries don't give up.
They do not give a crap. They're like, what was the?
Why would they?
One of my favorite things to watch is Hiro Hayes videos about like how Japan doesn't care about like the crap that goes on here.
Basically.
Like
Nope.
they don't know, they don't care. It's like or the stories of like somebody will color. They'll do like a drawing of like an anime character and like you made the character too light, and they're like, what?
Who cares?
Who cares? Like this is what the character looks like in this lighting. Like
Do you know, guys, about Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
all the
All the chaos that became of, I'm trying to be PJ, of a bosom size.
Yep.
for
Oh,
a
that's a huge
character.
one. Jiggle physics is a real thing.
Jiggle physics.
Yeah, jiggle physics is a real thing in video games that you have to take very, very seriously.
There's a whole video game for that.
Yep.
Guys, we need to have the behind the scenes.
The jiggle physics documentary. So I mean, this is like my favorite part is like when you see that stuff. It's called cheesecake in comics, right? Like when the proportions are drawn ridiculously out of
Cheesecake?
It's really called that.
Yeah. It's a reference to the proportions. There's a famous. They're not drawn to look realistic. They're drawn to look exaggerated, almost caricaturish, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And the women are hypersexualized, but that's the style. It's a style of art, right? And so it's bad. Why is it bad? It's inherently bad. Why? Because men do the drawing. Because men like it. Ever notice like they don't care that
I hate men.
They don't care. They don't in these industries in the video games. They don't care that a character in Final Fantasy VII looks sexy. They care that men like that the Final Fantasy VII character. It's a weird form of modern day Puritanism, except for it's not for religious reasons. It's for virtuous anti. I guess not anti, just anti-male, but it's weird modern day Puritanism. Just because other people can't have it.
But Gadsad talks about this all the time, and he says like the problem with it is that there's no condition to where you're gonna be right. Because if you sexualize, it's like you're sexualizing. If you don't sexualize, it's like, oh, you gotta know her sexual aspect because you're a monster. It's like can't win.
You can't win. It's the goalpost moves at every. It's not even that it moves just forward. The goalpost moves in whatever direction they want they want to move you. So it's like in these video games, does anybody actually care? The normies don't care. Normies do not care. This is a small segment of extremely vocal activists.
Normies care if they're programmed to care.
Yep. Well, I'm saying normie, and I'm not even using normie in a derogatory. I'm not using it in a derogatory term. Like people who just want to play video games or watch movies and not think about the fact that this stuff matters to people. Like it's ridiculous to me. And you're never going to erase this culture from video games. You're not. You can't get rid of it.
I mean, you know. The way things are going, it's hard to say, but like, as long as Japan doesn't give an F,
that's
they don't. But it's funny. Have you seen China editing all their anime? I said anime waifus, but yeah, it's anime.
What did they do?
So basically, you know that anime, the Dragon Cafe.
No.
Oh, okay. So
I'm not a weeb.
Oh, okay. But there's a anime, I don't know the full title of it, but it's like a bunch of dragon waifus, and like one of them has really big boobas, and China was like, no, we can't have this, so they made her flat on purpose.
Oh,
and we took it, and everybody hated that.
And then there's another censorship thing where they're not wearing a top, and like China had to cover it with bubbles.
I also want to know, these people claim to love representation. What about women that actually look like that? Like you're
big boobs.
You're
yes,
getting rid
scary.
of the diversity
for real
of
titties.
Exactly.
Tittyversity.
Dane, you should be the face of it.
I've been so good.
He was doing so good.
Let me have one.
You got it. You're good. I'm just saying, like, Geeky always talks about this on Clownfish videos, where she's like, "Why did they get rid of people that look like me? I'm a bigger woman." Like, and they're like, "Why?"
And ginger girls.
Yeah, she's a ginger too. That woman.
Every time, why do they hate gingers? I love gingers.
The ginger side, man. It's a real thing.
I believe it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They hate the.
I want a child with ginger hair, but I know it's not genetically possible.
There we go.
It's weird that you want a child with a specific hair color, but you know what? To each their own.
I just want the hair color because I think it's so cute. I think it's cute on little kids.
I think what you should want is like to raise a healthy kid, well balanced, that gets a good job, has a good career, and lives a good life.
One arm, no legs, ginger hair.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So
sorry, child.
I guess in the end, I just think it's hilarious that they want this. This article goes way more in depth about the lawsuit, but it is just really evil that they want to just buy the magazine so that they can just buy good press.
Yeah, that's the move now.
It's not hard to believe. It's not hard to believe at all.
Disney kind of does that.
Dude, Disney owns so many of the... We're
going to do that here in Pop Culture Crisis Studios. We're just going to buy, I don't know.
We're just going to buy everything.
We're going to buy mommy blogs and be like, dude, why bread isn't offensive.
Exactly. Well, Disney does this with like, because they buy off influence. You know, it's like, that's a whole culture of like women who like, it's the wine mom, Disney wine moms. Like, like, oh my God, love and light and sparkles and all this stuff.
You know, so I used to work at an advertising agency. Like, my most successful brands were all wine moms.
Oh.
Like, I got it within me. Like, I can become
Can you give me an example?
Can you do it?
Oh, I mean, I did it in Spanish, but I used to have this product that was... I don't know if I can talk about this, actually.
Never mind.
Wait, can you do... Okay, so let's think about the most wine mom thing. Skinny popcorn or Skinny Girl. Can you do advertisement for them?
I mean, I need to know the specs, you know.
So Skinny Girl is basically made by a woman who married a millionaire, divorced a millionaire. Now she's like a rich woman because she made wine and popcorn for people on diets, but it's still the same thing.
Honestly, what really worked was like a bunch of recipes and details and having like share yours, and they just like ate it up. They loved it.
Or can you advertise Brett? For wine moms?
Bread for wine moms. I mean, just take a picture
advertise
of it, honestly.
Itself.
That's what I'm saying. Just take a picture, honestly. All the wine moms are doing.
Oh, damn. Okay. I don't know. Like, take out your inner wine mom. I want to see
my
this.
Inner wine mom?
Yeah.
My inner it's...
Wait, can you do
I can't do it for
mom?
free. I can't do it for free.
There you go. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
And I'm honestly, like, right now trying to think of all the NDAs I've signed.
Okay. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.